What are realistic goals for us to set, and what is the bottom line with regard to saving humanity from losing its self-determination?
The first step is awareness. Many people must become aware that the Earth is being visited, and that foreign powers are here operating in a clandestine manner, seeking to hide their agenda and endeavors from human understanding. It must be very clear that their presence here is a great challenge to human freedom and self-determination. The agenda that they are furthering, and the pacification program that they are sponsoring must be countered with sobriety and wisdom regarding their presence. This counteraction must occur. There are many people in the world today who are able to understand this. Therefore, the first step is awareness. The next step is education. It is necessary for many people in different cultures, and in different nations, to learn about life in the greater community, and to begin to comprehend what you will be dealing with, and are dealing with even at this moment. Therefore, realistic goals are awareness and education. This in itself would obstruct the visitors' agenda in the world. They are operating now with very little resistance. They are encountering few obstacles. All those who seek to view them as lies of humanity must learn that this is not the case. Perhaps our words will not be enough, but they are a beginning.
Where can we find this education?
The education can be found in the greater community way of knowledge, which is being presented in the world at this time. Though it presents a new understanding about life and spirituality in the universe, it is connected to all of the genuine spiritual paths that already exist within your world, spiritual paths that value human freedom and the meaning of true spirituality, and that value cooperation, peace and harmony within the human family. Therefore, the teaching in the way of knowledge calls forth all the great truths that already exist in your world, and gives them a greater context and arena of expression. In this way, the greater community way of knowledge does not replace the world's religions, but provides a larger context within which they can be truly meaningful and relevant to your times.
How do we convey your message to others?
The truth lives within each person at this moment. If you can speak to the truth in a person, it will become stronger, and begin to resonate. Our great hope, the hope of the unseen ones, the spiritual forces who serve your world, and the hope of those who value human freedom and wish to see your emergence into the greater community successfully fulfilled, rely upon this truth that lives within each person. We cannot force this awareness upon you. We can only reveal it to you, and trust in the greatness of knowledge that the Creator has given you that can enable you and others to respond.
Where do humanity's strengths lie in opposing the intervention?
First, we understand from observing your world, and from what the unseen ones have told us regarding things that we cannot see, that though there are great problems within the world, there is sufficient human freedom to give you a foundation for opposing the intervention. This is in contrast to many other worlds, where individual freedom was never established to begin with. As these worlds encounter alien forces in their midst, and the reality of greater community life, the possibility for them to establish freedom and independence is very limited. Therefore, you have a great strength in that human freedom is known in your world, and is practiced by many, though perhaps not all. You know you have something to lose. You value what you have already, to whatever extent it has been established. You do not want to be ruled by foreign powers. You do not even want to be ruled harshly by human authorities. Therefore, this is a beginning. Next, because your world has rich spiritual traditions that have fostered knowledge in the individual, and fostered human cooperation and understanding, the reality of knowledge has already been established. Again, in other worlds where knowledge was never established, the possibility for establishing it at the turning point of emerging into the greater community shows little hope for success. Knowledge is strong enough in enough people here, that they may be able to learn of the reality of life in the greater community, and to comprehend what is occurring in their midst at this time. It is for this reason that we are hopeful, for we trust in human wisdom. We trust that people can rise above selfishness, self-preoccupation and self-protection, to view life in a greater way, and to feel a greater responsibility in service to their own kind. Perhaps our faith is unfounded, but we are trusting that the unseen ones have counseled us wisely regarding this. As a result, we have placed ourselves at risk by being in the proximity of your world and witnessing events beyond your borders that have direct bearing on your future and destiny. Humanity has great promise. You have a growing awareness of problems in the world, a lack of cooperation amongst nations, the degradation of your natural environment, your diminishing resources and so forth. If these problems were unknown to your people, if these realities had been kept hidden from your people, to the extent that people had no idea of the existence of these things, then we would not be as hopeful. However, the reality remains that humanity has the potential and the promise to counteract any intervention into the world.
Is this intervention going to become a military invasion?
As we have said, your world is too valuable to incite a military invasion. No one who is visiting your world wants to destroy its infrastructure or its natural resources. That is why the visitors do not seek to destroy humanity, but instead to engage humanity in service to their collectives. It is not military invasion that threatens you. It is the power of inducement and persuasion. This will be built upon your own weakness, upon your own selfishness, upon your ignorance of life in the greater community, and upon your blind optimism regarding your future and the meaning of life beyond your borders. To counteract this, we provide education and we speak of the means of preparation that are being sent into the world at this time. If you did not already know human freedom, if you were not already aware of the problems endemic to your world, then we could not entrust such a preparation to you, and we would not have confidence that our words would resonate with the truth of what you know.
Can you influence people as powerfully as the visitors, but for the good?
Our intention is not to influence individuals. Our intention is only to present the problem, and the reality into which you are emerging. The unseen ones are providing the actual means of preparation, for that comes from God. In this, the unseen ones influence individuals for the good. But their restraints, as we have said, it is your self-determination that must be strengthened. It is your power that must be increased. It is your cooperation amongst the human family that must be supported. There are limits as to how much help we can provide. Our group is small. We are not walking amongst you. Therefore, the great understanding of your new reality must be shared from person to person. It cannot be forced upon you from a foreign power, even if it were for your own good. We would not, then, be supporting your freedom and self-determination if we sponsored such a program of persuasion. Here you cannot be like children. You must become mature and responsible. It is your freedom that is at stake. It is your world that is at stake. It is your cooperation with each other that is needed. You now have a great cause to unite your race, for none of you will benefit without the other. No nation will benefit if any other nation falls under alien control. Human freedom must be complete. The cooperation must occur around your world. For everyone is in the same situation now. The visitors do not favor one group over another, one race over another, one nation over another. They only seek the avenue of least resistance to establish their presence and their domination of your world.
How extensive is their infiltration of humanity?
The visitors have a significant presence within the most advanced nations in your world, particularly the nations of Europe, Russia, Japan, and America. These are viewed as the strongest nations, having the greatest power and influence. It is there that the visitors will concentrate. However, they are taking people from all over the world, and they are furthering their pacification program with all those that they capture, if those individuals can be responsive to their influence. Therefore, the visitors' presence is worldwide, but they are concentrating on those whom they hope will become their allies. These are the nations and governments and religious leaders who hold the greatest power and sway over human thought and conviction.